Again, people, Luke here from LAGFX. We're back today with a new Sunday sessions video. If you are new to this series, it's basically where we choose a few pairs that we have analysed prior to recording this video that we feel hold good potential for profitable positions in the coming week, and we give you guys specific zones and areas that you can go off and apply to your own charts and hopefully profit and trade alongside us in the coming weeks. Now, this style of video is great for those who are wanting to learn how to trade, because throughout this video you're going to be seeing little bits of my analysis and what I look for when it comes to placing positions, but it also gives you the opportunity to, as I say, take part in the markets and placing some profitable positions. Now, throughout this video, if you have any questions or queries regarding the analysis, the potential trades, the zones, areas that we are marking out, please leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you do go on to enjoy this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. All the support you guys provide is very much appreciated. Now I'm going to run through 4 or 5 pairs today. I'm going to be as quick as I can, give you some zones that you can take away with you, and ensure that you have a good understanding on my bias for each pair that we go over today. So the first pair that we're going to be touching base on is the Great British Pound to the US dollar. You can see here how we have recently had a structural break to the upside. So this was the last protected high within this bearish structure here. Now, we did take part in a bullish position back in, well, start of last week, in fact, and I do actually want to see price continue to trade us higher with a longer term bias. If we just go to the higher time frames here, maybe looking at the 4 hours, you can see how let's take a look at the daily. You can see here how on the daily time frames this is in fact a bearish market, so we do want to be trading with the prevailing trend. We do actually want to go short in this market with a longer term bias. However, price is actually within a corrective phase at the moment as we look more fractally, and you can see here how we are seeing a slow in momentum trading lower. We are seeing less supply being introduced and more demand being introduced. Now, that's obviously going to cause price to begin to trade higher, and we should therefore be looking to take advantage of the correction that should follow. Now, just going back to more recent times and the analysis that we've got here, you can see that this high is the last protected high within this bearish structure, because this high here created the lowest low, being this one. So because of that, when we have a break in that protected high, being this, that suggests to us that price is no longer following the laws of bearish structure, which is lower highs and lower lows, but it is now following the laws of bullish structure, where we break the highs and we protect the lows. As you can see, we've broken a high. We are now protecting this low. Price will go on to create a new high, followed by a higher low, higher high, higher low, and that continues. So we want to take advantage of this corrective wave. I've got a few areas of supply that I want to see price trade up and into. As I said to you just at the start of this analysis, I mentioned that we took advantage of a bullish position start of last week. This did very, very well. However, we didn't quite hit take profit, and this was due to fundamental news. Fundamental news impacted the trade, caused supply to be introduced, and for price to obviously trade lower. So therefore, we obviously want to see now price put in that correction to trade us into 1 or 2 supply zones before delivering us with some further bearish structure. So that's my bias for the Great British Pound to the US dollar. This is a bearish market on the higher time frames, looking at the daily, the weekly, the 4 hour. However, price is currently within a corrective phase on the 1, 30 and 15 minute time frame. So I will therefore be looking for bullish positions before we go short with that longer term bias in mind. Okay, now moving over to the NAS100. We have done extremely well with this pair, and I am very, very proud of the guys in the VIP chat. We have taken full advantage of this market and the bearishness it's provided us with. You can see here that this was the original short that we got involved in. Some of the clients in the VIP chat are actually still involved in this original short position. And then we also entered in further shorts the start of, well, it was actually the end of not last week, but the week prior. So we got involved in shorts there, and then we saw take profit hit on the Monday, which was amazing. Now we want to look to get involved in this market again in further short positions. If you've been watching these Sunday sessions videos for some time, you'll understand that my bias for this market is to actually see price trade down to the 8,000 mark. Some people think that's unrealistic. I think it's more than realistic. We are seeing bearishness being introduced. We are seeing lower highs and lower lows being introduced. So if I just grab my path tool, you can see here we have a high set followed by a low, followed by a lower high, followed by a lower low. So seeing that clear bearish structure on the extreme higher time frames, this being the higher time frame trend, we therefore want to take advantage of that. We've also had other pieces of confluence on the higher time frames to suggest further bearishness and a continuation and a higher time frame correction to the downside before any bullish momentum as a longer term thing. So therefore we obviously want to be looking to take advantage of those short positions. So you can see here that I've gone ahead and marked out a few areas of supply. So what you guys can do is you can head down to, I think it's on the 30 minutes. So you can see the order block here on the 30-minute time frames. If you want to pause the video now, mark this out for yourself. We also have this one here. So if you want to pause the video now, the increments are on the right-hand side. The area and price is on the right-hand side here. Mark that out for yourself as well as an order block, a potential area that price may trade up and into before more supply is introduced, which gives us that S&D flip to the downside. And then we also have this one up here as well. So there's 3 areas of interest for us where we could look to go short from in this market. We just need to wait for price to trade up and into those, give us the right confluence to suggest a reversal to the downside, and then that's obviously when we can look to go short in the market. Now you may be wondering, well, can we look to go long before we go short? Can we take advantage of the corrective wave that trades us into these supply zones? We can, but we need to be delivered with plenty of confluence before we look to do so. If I'm being completely honest with you, I will probably be patient with this pair and I will just wait for the bearish opportunities to present themselves to me. There are 3-4 other pairs that we are looking at that we can take advantage of this coming week. I'm more than happy to wait for price to trade into my points of interest before actually placing any positions in this market. It's very important that we are strategic with the trades that we are placing. It's all about quality over quantity. I only place 3-4 positions maximum a week, but the quality of the trades are things that you have never seen before. You know, the risk reward ratios that we are implementing with these trades, you know, just down to how they perform. We have very little drawdown in the positions we are placing, and the reason for this is because we do our due diligence and we wait for multiple pieces of confluence to suggest the same idea and the same direction in trend. Now, on top of all of that, we always trade with the prevailing trend, so we are always backed by the majority traders, institutions, and therefore that gives us that leverage and it gives us that edge when we are placing those positions. So I will be looking to go short, but from one of 3 areas of interest here. So as I said, if you haven't done already, pause the video and mark them out for yourself now, just before we head over to the next pair. So moving over to the euro to the US dollar, you can see here price has been putting in clear bullish structure within this corrective phase on the higher time frames. You can see here we've had a higher time frame break of structure to the downside. This was the last protected low within this higher time frame bullish structure. Price traded into a higher time frame supply zone. Price then broke structure to the downside, breaking the last protected low. We are now seeing price put in a corrective wave. So what we can suspect when we have a break of structure to the downside is for price to put in a correction to set its first higher time frame lower high, right? So we can suspect that now that price has set a high here followed by a low, price needs to trade back up to set a new lower high before going down to set a new lower low. So what I've done is I've marked out pieces of interest or areas of interest that I feel price may trade up and into before delivering us with further bearish structure. We've had evidence and we have plenty of confluence and confirmation that price is within a corrective phase. We've had multiple breaks of structure to the upside, which suggests to us that the demand in this market is currently outweighing the supply. And if we wanted to take advantage of this market, then we should be looking for long positions trading us into our areas of interest, i.e. our supply zones. Now, what we have seen, if we just look more fractally, you can see here how prices set a low, followed by a high, followed by a higher low, followed by a higher high, followed by a higher low. What will follow is a higher high, right? So we can be looking to get involved in longs now to take advantage of this next impulsive wave within this fractal structure. And we should be looking to take profit maybe from here, or at least partially. And then if we see price trade above that, then this would be our next target. If price trades above this one, then we would have this as our third and final take profit target. So what I will do is I will leave these zones on screen for a couple of moments. If you want to pause the video, mark them out for yourselves. These are definitely going to be areas of interest that we should be looking to go short from. With that longer term bias, this is a new bearish market on the higher time frames. We've had confirmation of that via a break of structure to the downside. We are now simply just waiting for price to finish this corrective wave before it goes on to trade down and create its next impulsive bearish wave. So just looking more fractally at this, how could we look to get involved in this market? Well, what we need to distinguish and what we need to find are areas of demand, order blocks that have been left unmitigated that price may want to trade down and into to grab any remaining demand in order to trade higher. Well, here we can see that there's a hidden order block. The fact that there's a wick to the upside followed by a wick to the downside within a bullish phase, that suggests that there is bearishness inside of this, and this is a hidden order block. And I will be doing a video on this in the coming days, and I'll get that uploaded as soon as possible, just so you guys have a better understanding on what to look for and how to distinguish these hidden order blocks. As we go down on time frames, you can see that that bearish candle begins to present itself. So now we can just refine our area, and what we want to see is we want to see price trade down and into this to grab any remaining demand to set that higher low before taking us higher up and into this market. So we can definitely look to get involved in bullish positions this coming week. We just want to see price trade down and into this. It gives us the opportunity to get involved with a refined entry, and then we can trade price higher up and into the supply zone above. You can see here that we are able to capitalize on a brilliant opportunity, assuming price delivers us with the confluence and confirmation we need. We could walk away with a lovely risk-to-reward ratio of a 1-to-9. So that's my analysis for the Euro USD. That's my shorter-term bias, longer-term bias, and how I'm looking to tackle the market this coming week. Okay, now finally I'm going to touch on XAU USD. If you want to see our USD CAD analysis, head over to the Learning Lounge group chat. The analysis is going to be posted exclusively in there. I'm not going to be sharing it on this video, so if you do want to see the USD CAD analysis, make sure you join our Learning Lounge group chat. It's completely free. Just head down to the link in the description and get yourself involved. But just to clarify our analysis for the XAU USD market, you can see here that we took full advantage of a bullish, well, we actually placed two positions. We placed two positions as of recent on the XAU USD market. You can see here this was our first, this was our second. I've been calling this area for the longest of times, and I've been saying to everyone that price is going to trade up and into the 2000 mark. It's just a matter of time, and we should be looking for those long opportunities. And would you believe it? Price has done exactly as we have suggested. So what am I expecting for price this coming week? Well, now that we've taken advantage of the bullishness that's traded us into this supply zone, I am now wanting to see demand diminish and be removed from the market, and for supply to be introduced. So what we can expect is for a distribution to take place within this area of interest, within this supply zone. Once we have confirmation that this distribution has concluded and has finished, we have breaks of structure to the downside. That's when I'll be looking to get involved in short positions. I will not be being preemptive and looking to go short as soon as possible. It will just be a case of waiting for the right confirmation before I look to place any positions in this market. As I said earlier, all about quality over quantity. It's very important we wait for all pieces of confluence before we press that trigger, before we press execute on any positions that we are placing. But I'm definitely thinking that price is going to go short from this area of supply. As I said, I've been calling this area of supply out for a very, very long time. You can go back to videos going back a month, 2 months. I've been calling this out for a very, very long time. So this bullishness, this entire bullish structure, I have predicted, and we can see that it's played out perfectly. I now want to see a complete distribution, as I say, take place. Give us the confluence that price is ready to trade lower. That's when we'll be looking to get involved in those short positions. So if we just look more fractally at this, heading down to the 5 minutes, you can see that we have the start of a distribution. Price is testing both to the downside and to the upside. I have actually marked out an area of interest here that price has just recently traded into. It's tested, has sweeped for the second time, so it'll be interesting to see how price reacts. Obviously we had a penetration here. Be interesting to see how price reacts in the coming days, and come Monday. In order for me to look to get involved in this market, as I say, I do want to see a structural break to the downside just to suggest that bearishness. I will probably be looking for, realistically, if we wanted to be quite aggressive with our approach, then we would maybe look for a break here. But if I'm being completely honest with you, I would probably want to see a break in this low. A lot of people say as well, the wick doesn't count. The wick does absolutely count. I don't know why people say that it doesn't count. It definitely does count. When people say this as well, they are suggesting that we should be putting our structural point here, which makes no sense to me because prices continue to trade lower. Regardless whether it's on a lower time frame or not, price has still traded beneath this point. We are not looking, when we look at structural points in the market, yes, it's very important as to where they're placed. But what it also suggests is what's been liquidated and what's been cleared and what it's traded into, right? So the fact that price has traded this low and it's cleared anything here suggests that when price breaches this, that tells us that there is still outweigh in supply, and that's what's continuing to trade price lower. So I always go from the wick, but that's just me personally. That's how I've always done things, and it's worked in my favor every time. So I want to see a break in the last structural low, which is this one here, realistically on the higher time frames. This low created this height here. As soon as we have a break in that, that's when I'll be looking for a pullback, and I'll be looking to get involved in short positions in this market. But yeah, that's my analysis for this Sunday sessions video. There isn't really a zone that I can give with the XAU USD market. It's literally just a case now of waiting for further confirmation before we look to get introduced. I'm definitely excited for this week. I think it could deliver us with some brilliant opportunities. We just need to sit and wait patiently so we can get involved in these markets. As I said to you guys earlier, if you have any questions, any queries regarding the analysis I've gone through, please leave them in the comments below. I'm very responsive. I like to get back to everyone. So if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If there's any specific videos that you want to see me touch or cover, if there's anything that you're unsure about within Forex, please leave that in the comments as well, as I can create videos based on that. And as I said, I will be making a video on hidden order blocks, just to kind of cover that as a topic, just so you guys have a greater understanding on what they are and why we should be looking for them when we look to trade the foreign exchange markets. I just want to say a massive thank you guys for watching. I'm wishing you all a profitable week, and I'll catch you all in the next Sunday sessions video.